Good evening. On behalf of the governing body of the City of Passaic, we welcome you to the March 19th, 2024 City Council meeting. In accordance with Chapter 231 Public Laws of 1975, adequate notice of this meeting was provided by resolution of the Municipal Council adopted on June 13th, 2023, setting forth the schedule of meetings for the year 2023-2024. Said notice was published and posted on the City Hall bulletin board by the Office of the City Clerk. Please be further advised this public meeting will be conducted in person. The Zoom stream provided is for viewing only and is offered to the public as a convenience. On March 6, 2024, public notice and Zoom instructions for this meeting were published in the Herald News and posted on the City of Passaic website at www.cityofpassaic.com. Council agendas. Instructions are also available on the last page of this agenda. Please be guided accordingly.
Roll call, please.
Councilman Monk?
Present.
Councilman Love?
Present.
Councilwoman Mello?
Present.
Councilman Schwartz?
Present.
Councilman Garcia?
Present.
Councilwoman Colon Montañez?
Present.
And Council President Scheer.
President, shall we all please rise?
Heavenly Father, we want to thank you, Lord, for allowing us to meet this evening, Lord. Lord, we want to thank you for everyone that's present here this evening, and we ask you to bring those that are on their way safely, Lord. And we ask you to please guide us in the agenda that will be presented this evening. In your beloved name, we pray. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for being with us here tonight. A few points, if I may. Number one, if you have a cell phone, could you please put it on vibrate or off so that it does not disturb your neighbors or anyone else. If you need to have a conversation with your neighbor, we respect that, we understand that, but we also ask that you take it outside of the chambers. When you finish your conversation, please come back and join us. If you don't have an agenda, they are available at both the entrance and the exit of this chamber. You can also receive the agenda online at the city's website. There you will find all the resolutions, correspondence, and ordinances which the council has been given by the administration in order to make decisions that affect the best interests of our community. It's strange not to have the mayor with us, but in fact he is. He attended a conference today of urban mayors throughout the United States, I believe. It's a great honor for the city of Passaic to have the mayor there, and a great honor for the mayor as well.
Thank you, Council President.
He is communicating with us by Zoom, I believe.
That is correct, Council President. Thank you.
But he is with us, and we thank him so much for double tasking it tonight. We have a presentation for International Women's Day Award, and may I first thank on behalf of the City Council, Councilwoman Mello and Councilwoman Colon Montañez for taking so much time to craft tonight's program. Immediately after the program, we will take a break. I understand refreshments are available, but not before. After the break, we will come back into full session. At this point, I would like to turn the gavel to Councilwoman Mello.
Thank you, Council President. We want to welcome everyone this evening as we join together to celebrate Women's Month. We understand that women should be celebrated every day, but tonight we want to take the opportunity to highlight those, as I call them, the behind-the-scene women. Women that on an everyday basis, they're contributing in the growth, not only of their home, but also of their society. And joining me is my colleague, Councilwoman Maritza Colon Montañez. So can we please come down here? But before we start, Maritza's going to dance for everyone. She's really good at dancing, so. By my side. Like I started here, so I'll start and then you do the second part. All right, so just brief history. I'm sure a lot of you did not know that Women's Month that started off as a week back in 1978. And it wasn't until, let me see, late 1980 when a group of historian women led by the National Women History Project decided to lobby so this could become a national month. And it wasn't until February 1980, President Jimmy Carter issued the first presidential proclamation declaring the week of March 8th, 1980, a National Women's Month week. Subsequent president continued to proclaim a National Women History in the month of March until 1987, when Congress passed a public law 100-9 designating March as Women History Month.
Between 1988 and 1994, Congress passed additional resolutions requesting and authorizing the president to proclaim March of each year as Women's History Month. Since 1995, each president has issued an annual proclamation designating the month of March as Women's History Month. The National Women's History Alliance selects and publishes the yearly theme. The theme for Women's History Month in 2021 captured the spirit of these challenging times. Since many of the women's suffrage centennial celebrations originally scheduled for 2020 were curtailed, the National Women's History Alliance is extending the annual theme of 2021 to Valiant.
And with that said, there is a popular saying that behind every great man, there's a great woman. And I say, there are numerous women in every community who tirelessly contribute to their society. There's a saying by Brigham Young, you educate a man, you educate a man. You educate a woman, and you educate a generation. And with that being said, I want to give every woman that's present here this evening a grand applause because of the contribution you have done.
And to the women, may you always know your worth, stand tall in your power, and never settle for anything less than you deserve. Happy National International Women's Day.
So now we are going to honor three women that are women from the city of Passaic. Women that we know have contributed, women that are, as we call them, unsung or behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Women that are day to day, involved with your family, with the community, but they're not really holding office. But a lot of the work that they do is very valuable. The first person we're honoring, it's someone that I met when I first started my political career. Someone who, though I knocked, it was very impactful because when she saw me with my children, that at the time were 4 and 5, which was my niece, she welcomed me in and she said, it's nice to see young women getting involved, especially women. And that resonated in me. And I thank her because from that day moving forward, it inspired me. And I'm sure I'm not the only person or woman that she said that to, as she is known in her community as Mama Hunter.
I cannot see.
Okay, it says, Maria Lois Pereira Hunter was born on May 9, 1935 in Pembroke, Bermuda, to the late May and Francis Pereira. And whereas Muriel received her education in Bermuda at the Girls Institute of Arts and Craft and continued her studies in the United States at Keene College in Union, New Jersey, bringing her knowledge and skills to benefit her future and endeavors. And whereas Muriel found love in the United States and married late Mr. Joseph Elijah Hunter Jr., on June 16th, together, they built a loving home in Passaic, purchasing it in 1961 and raising a beautiful family of 6 children, and who have further blessed with her 8 grandchildren and 10 great-grandchildren. That deserves a round of applause. And whereas, Muriel's passion for education and nurturing young minds led to the fulfilling career. She served as a teacher at the North Jersey Training School for 4 years, Passaic Board of Education Night School for 3 years, and a Guidance Guild Nursery School for over 35 years. Her dedication extended to her role as president of the PTA at School 7 under the administration of Ms. Bernice Harvey for 6 years. Worked at Carnegie Bragg Funeral Home for 30 years, and loving babysat her grandchildren and great-grandchildren. And whereas Muriel dedicates herself to serving beyond her family, she is an active member of St. John's Episcopal Church for over 50 years, serving as an usher and as an altar girl, as a reader, a missionary, and good servant. Her compassion and nurture extends to visiting the sick and shuts in. As whereas Muriel's commitment to her community is evident through her participation in the City of Passaic Senior Center, where she loves to talk to city residents through her involvement with events, and Mount Pilgrim Missionary Baptist Church. And whereas Muriel's warmth extends beyond her biological family, she has become a second mother to her close neighbors, including Ronald and Michael Edwards, Robin Payne, Joaquin Garcia, Ephraim Sint, and whereas Muriel is known for her silver bracelet and her warm hugs and sincerity of her kind words, the deliciousness of her holiday cupcakes, and from blankets for newborn babies in the neighborhood. And whereas Muriel finds joy in spending time with loved ones, loves for scenic drives, relaxing on the beach, and returning to her beloved Bermuda. When at home, she enjoys sunshine in the yard and on her front porch, that's where I met her. Her favorite color is orange, and she delights in butterflies and the company of visitors. And whereas Muriel Louise Pereira Hunter, known as Mother Nana, Aunt Muriel, Miss Muriel, and Mom Hunter, embodies kindness, service, and a quivering love for her family and community, and is constant a source of support and strength, always there to offer a card, a call, or a visit. Now, therefore, I, Hector C. Laura, Mayor of the City of Passaic, along with Passaic City Council and the resident of Passaic, recognize Muriel Louise Pereira Hunter during Women's History Month for the outstanding service and unwavering commitment to our community. Her remarkable life and contribution to our community serves as an inspiration to all. A flower to another beautiful flower.
Thank you. And my seniors.
Stand up, children. Friends, stand up.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's
Oh, Donnie, thank you. Thank you so much. Yes.
Thank you.
Right here. All right, the next woman that's behind the scene. Many of you know her, wherever the mayor is, there she is. For the parties, she is the woman that's making sure that a lot of things get done. When you call his office, you ask for her first, and then if he's available, she'll let you know. And tonight we recognize Asenet Kathy Martin. Whereas Asenet Kathy Martin was born in Santo Domingo, Dominican Republic, to Juana Ortiz and Jose Shepard, and immigrated to the United States with her siblings at the age of 6, settling in Chicago, Illinois. And whereas in 1992, Miss Martin path led her to the great city of Passaic, New Jersey, where she enrolled in Passaic High Public School System. And whereas even before her own future blossomed, Miss Martin demonstrated a selfless heart by volunteering at the Homelessness Prevention of Passaic in 1993, working under the guidance of Fran Lawton in Aspen, at the Aspen Place Housing Authority complex. This experience solidified her commitment to serving the greater good. And whereas defying adversity, Ms. Martin graduated with an immense pride from Passaic High School in 1996. Even amidst the challenges of becoming a young teen parent to a beautiful daughter, this achievement stands as a testament to the unwavering determination and strength. And whereas, as in it, Kathy Martin, career as a civil servant began in 1996 when she started working at the City of Passaic Department of Community Development through the PIG Summer Program. This initial spark ignited a passion for serving her community. And whereas her dedication led to a full-time position in the Department of Public Works in 1997. Ms. Martin's perseverance, determination, and exceptional work ethic paved the way for a well-deserved promotion and transfer to the administration department, where she served as the secretary to the business administrator, and whereas under the leadership of Ricardo Fernandez, business administrator as of 2010, Ms. Martin gained additional knowledge in city operations and its impact on the community, fostering her growth as a public servant. And whereas, as in it, Kathy Martin, exceptional talent and leadership qualities were further acknowledged in 2017 when she was promoted to the confidential assistant to the highly respected mayor, affectionate, aff- affectionately, sorry, known to Miss Martin as the greatest mayor in the universe, Hector C. Laurel, Chief Executive Officer of the City of Passaic. Working with such a strong leader has helped increase her confidence and level empowerment in the role, allowing her to overcome the many challenges that come with the position. And whereas with God's blessing, Miss Martin has been a proud, loyal civil servant to the community of the City of Passaic for over 25 years. Round of applause. As well as a devoted and loving wife to Carl Martin, an exceptional mother to her 3 children, Nikki, Jarrell, and Amali. Now, therefore, I, Hector C. Laura, Mayor of the City of Passaic, along with the Passaic City Council and the residents of Passaic, recognize Asana Kathy Martin during Women's History Month for her outstanding service and unwavering commitment to our community. Her dedication and leadership serves as an inspiration to us all. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you. First and foremost, I have to thank God because without Him, none of this would be possible. My husband, my children, family, and friends for understanding the sacrifices I have made for my commitment to this amazing community. The greatest mayor in the universe, Hector Carlos Laura, for encouraging and guiding me beyond my belief. The administrator, Ricardo Fernandez, for the many years of experience and friendship that we shared. My colleagues for always being patient and supportive. The amazing and diverse community in Passaic. It has been an absolute pleasure to serve each and every one of you to the very best of my ability. And last but not least, the City Council for taking the time to acknowledge and honor me in the month of Women's History Month, where I hope to leave a legacy of history for the younger generations to come. Thank you.
Yes. All right. The next person that we are going to recognize, she is definitely, when I mentioned earlier that behind every successful man, there is a successful woman, and she definitely fits that. Um, Most of you know our mayor and his wife, Nicauri Lora. And we recognize that he is able to do the things he does because she's very supportive. Without her, he would not be able to be everywhere as he is. And thank you, Nikki, for being being that woman behind the scene, but definitely giving so much to the community because of the support that you give your husband. The residents get to benefit from it. Thank you. And I'll read the proclamation. I'm doing this a little bit off, this is with no protocol. But I'll read the proclamation now. And it says, whereas Nicauri's Lora journey began in the Dominican Republic, where she was born. At a young age, she immigrated to the United States with her family, making Passaic, New Jersey, her new home. After a decade in Passaic, she continued her journey to Patterson, where she graduated from John F. Kennedy High School STEM Academy. And whereas, fueled by strong faith and passion for serving, Nicauri Lora pursued a career in nursing, earning her RN from Bergen Community College and her BSN from Liberty University. Her dedication extends beyond healthcare and encompassing a love for medical science, arts, music, and giving back to the community. This passion was evident even during her youth in Passaic, where she participated in the Union Baptist Church Choir at the Free Methodist Church Youth Group. She also embraced the performing arts, taking parts in pageants and teen modeling programs throughout the states. And whereas Nicautis Lora's commitment to public health began in college while working at the foster care agency. There, she championed wellness by educating families on healthy lifestyle choices. Upon receiving her RN license, Nicautis returned to Passaic, New Jersey as a public health nurse, promoting citywide wellness initiatives. She tirelessly educated residents on lead poisoning prevention and the importance of vaccination, actively participating in various wellness campaigns. Nicautis Lora then broadened her experience by working as a nurse at Prignas Healthcare Center in New Jersey. In Wayne, New Jersey, where she proudly served along her colleagues, providing medical treatments and compassionate care to the community most vulnerable residents. And whereas Nicautis Lora dedicated to her community extends far beyond nursing career. She co-founded the Love Thy Neighbor Initiative of Passaic County, a critical homeless outreach program, and leads the Team Passaic Civic Organization, which works to unite Passaic diverse communities. And whereas a devoted nurse with a background in mental health, geriatric and public health, Nicautis Lora is also a proud mother, loving wife, and tireless advocate for the community. Throughout the COVID-19 pandemic, this essential worker provided vital support by raising health awareness, promoting education, and ensuring resources reached all communities. Active in her local church, the First Spanish Free Methodist Church of Passaic, since her youth, Nicautis Lora has volunteered for toy drives, holiday dinners, outreach ministries. It was there she met her husband, Hector Carlos Lora, while both were Sunday school teachers. They married and currently reside in Passaic, raising their 5 boys together. Nicautis Lora currently serves as the First Lady of the City of Passaic alongside her husband, the Mayor. Now, therefore, I, Hector C. Lora, Mayor of the City of Passaic, along with the Passaic City Council and the residents of Passaic, recognize Nicautis Lora during Women's History Month for the outstanding service and unwavering commitment of her community. Her dedication and leadership serves as an inspiration to all. Congratulations.
I'm so very honored. Thank you all so much. I want to thank God for the amazing opportunities that He has given me. I thank this council, the administration, and all of you for your love and your support. I strive every day to be able to serve and to give so much, of to give a little of what I have received. I want to thank my husband, of course, because he is unwavering in his support for me. The confidence that he gives me, the trust that he has in me, it's amazing. He really motivates me to work hard and to put myself out there. And I thank him so much for that. I also want to thank my boys. They're right over there. They're such wonderful kids. They allow me the opportunity to do what I do. They're so flexible. At any time I tell them, hey, we're going here, we're going there. And I just thank them, for always willing and doing things with a good attitude. I also want to thank my family for their support. My sisters, my mom, they're always available to lend a hand. And without them, a lot of what I do I wouldn't be able to. And I thank you all again. Thank you so much.
All right, and as we conclude, in the spirit of Women Month, We wanted to highlight the outstanding support provided by the various staff members for our recent event. This collective effort truly embodied the month essence, celebrating and honoring women's achievement. The city clerk's office, thank you very much for putting this together. Lisette from the administration, thank you so much for crafting this beautiful proclamation. You wanna say?
The last part. And Tony from the fire department, who was thoughtful to contribute all the great cupcakes that we're gonna have after this. But Weatherly, I know, thank you so much for helping us put this together. This was not last minute, but somebody was sick. I'm not gonna say who, for about 2 weeks. And I was like, what we're gonna do? So thank you for helping us out also. So I wish I could bring everybody a plant, but you're planted in my heart. Thank you, women. You are so great. And for the men that have our back.
And before we close, we want, if all the gentlemen in here could please join us in giving one last round of applause to all the women in here. Thank you.
On behalf of the council, let me thank both councilwomen for what a wonderful, wonderful program. At this point, we will have remarks from members of the council, followed by the mayor. Councilman Monk.
Thank you, Council President, and thank my colleagues here for putting together this beautiful event. Yeah, it's my memory. I just don't remember this such a beautiful event previous years. This is the third. Okay, I just don't remember. I'm sorry. Okay, it's if it's only the third, then what happened to the last 30 years of all the recognition that should go to all the women that have contributed so much, not only to this country but especially to the city of Passaic, right? You look around. And there's so many more people that really should be recognized tonight. Walk through City Hall, right?
Yes.
And you see all the women that have contributed to the success of the city. And you all should really be honored this evening. And thank you for all that you do. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Love, please.
Thank you, Council President. First, I want to join Council President in thanking Tanya Mello and Maritza Colon Martinez for once again putting on a lovely program with three well-deserving individuals. I would never disagree with Councilwoman Mello in public or behind the scenes because she does work out pretty hard. So I'm not going to do that. But I will just give my version of behind the scenes and why she say behind the scenes. Because these three women, in my opinion, right, and we all have a right to it, are truly not behind the scenes people. And when it comes to accolades and comes to titles and it comes to wanting to be recognized, I totally agree. But the three women that was honored today are out front individuals. They've been side by side with this city well before any of us have been sitting up on this diocese. I too had the pleasure of knocking on Ms. Hunter's door when I was thinking about running, and I got that speech, and I continue to get that speech, and I welcome it. Ms. Hunter will call you whenever things are not going right. I personally had to go 2 o'clock in the morning on her block to help resolve issues, and guess what? And I take great pride in it. When you sit in someone's house and you beg for their vote, then you make that promise that you're going to be there when they make that phone call. Kathy there's not enough that I can say about you. Kathy has been helping me out well before I was on this diocese, when I needed trees cut in front of my house, when they were destroying my cars, and she was very patient with her work. She transitioned into administration, where she continues to be a valuable asset to this community. And I tell you, her family is proud. They should be very proud to have her in their lives. There's so much I can say about Mrs. Laura. I'll tell you, Mrs. Laura has times had one baby on one hip and the other baby on the other hip, while she's handing you envelopes to go pick up numbers at different polling sites, and never missed a beat. I'll tell you, and Councilwoman said it best. It's amazing that the mayor is able to do the things that he does, because he does have a supportive wife that takes care of business at home. So I just want to say thank you to those three women. And two, being a son of a fantastic mother and a grandson of a grandmother that's 100 years old now. She'll be 101. Again, I'm just piggybacking off of what Councilwoman Mello said, that we need to honor and recognize our women every day. And to all of you guys out there, because I can go through this council chambers, I can go through the city of Passaic and just name the people who have done so much for our community, who don't get recognized. And I'll tell you, with these two ladies, I can assure you in the next few years, they're going to do their best to honor those. So for all of you who continue to be those mothers, grandmothers, aunts, cousins, and just great servants of this city, thank you so much.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilwoman Miller, please.
Thank you, Council President. I want to, again, take the opportunity to thank all the women that came before us, because it took a lot for us women to be at the table, and it continues to take. And I just encourage you to continue and to let's keep the baton going, so the young girls behind us can also continue to push and to be women of great worth, to encourage that, to push them to their max. Because society right now is giving them a disturb of what a woman should be. And the reality is, a woman should be strong, but still be delicate. A woman should be outspoken, but still be modest. And let's continue to push that. That is not wrong for you to be a woman, but still stand up for yourself. And don't be afraid of speaking up, especially being the voice of those that cannot speak up for themselves. So let's continue to encourage each other and support each other. That way, the world can continue to be a better place. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Councilman Schwartz, please.
Thank you, Councilwoman Mello and Richard Cook, for putting this together. So your dynamite presentation, picking really good role models. Everyone, often you have people who are somewhat behind the scenes, sometimes less, some are more prominent, but there are many people which don't get the credit that they deserve for making things happen. And without them, things would be very different. So thank you very much for putting this together, and for picking these individuals. And it's important to bring awareness to the importance. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Garcia, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. I want to thank Councilwoman Mello, Councilwoman Colon for putting this together. This is a beautiful thing. Sometimes we take things for granted, and not knowing that partner that we have next to us does a lot. And we should be able to appreciate that. So I want to congratulate Mrs. Hunter for being the person you are. God bless you for being the person that you are. And I want to thank Mrs. Laura for being so helpful to the mayor and doing the things you are. This community is appreciate the hard work that you've been doing next to your husband. And Kathy, I'm gonna miss you. Because every time I call you, you're there for me, and you've been helping me all along. So thank you. God bless you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Colon Montañez.
Thank you, President, Council President. I'll be short and sweet. When I thought of these three women, I always think of queens, hardworking women, smiling, always smiling. I can't tell you when I seen any of the three of you angry, and I love that about you. And to all the women out here, I want to tell you, I want to leave you with this. I feel like I'm a queen. I feel you guys are all queens. So when you see my crown turn or your counter, let's fix it, all right? Because let's move it on. Thank you.
On behalf of the council, let me first thank both Councilman Colon Montañez and Councilman Mello for putting together this extraordinary program. But the program is simply a program. What the extraordinary part is are the people who are being honored, each and every one of them. Ms. Hunter, I've had the pleasure to get to know you, not as well as I would like to, but we've spent some time together. And I can well understand why it took no time at all for the two council members to decide that they wanted to honor you, first and foremost. To Mrs. Laura, you are an extraordinary person. I've had the pleasure to work with your husband in many things that other people can't imagine. And you are his rock, you are his redeemer, you are his strength. So in the same way that we wish him good health, prosperity, we wish it twice to you so that you can spread sort of the wealth to him as well. To your young boys who are here with us today, and to your son who is away in the Navy, in the Army, we thank all of them for being here and for being so well behaved today. They're amazing, wonderful children. To Kathy, I heard it said that you're always there to answer the phone. You're always there to pick it up. And believe it or not, she does that even when I call. And I have a tendency to call fairly often, at least a few times a day. It's funny to me. I was trying to establish the commonality between the three ladies that are being honored tonight. They are of different generations. They're of different cultures to some extent, different mentalities. They grew up differently, but they share between them a commitment and a dedication, not only to the city of Passaic, but to all of us as individuals, to all of us seeing the best in us when we ourselves can't even see it, by having a vision that extends not for miles, but for years and decades and centuries. It's that kind of legacy that women have given to this world. God only knows we wouldn't be here were there not for women, and that's simply a biological reality. But more than the biological reality is the reality that it is the women who have ended wars. It is the women who have ended altercations. It is the women who have learned to recognize people for who they are rather than what they would like them to become. So I join my colleagues in extolling your virtues and in recognizing that one day is not enough to recognize women. 365 days are. For Mother's Day, for Father's Day, all these days are those to be honored. So I am privileged to join with my colleagues on the council in thanking all of you for being here tonight and for thanking you in thanking our honorees. At this point, I'd like to turn to Mayor Laura, who is being connected via Zoom. Mayor, you're still in Washington?
I am. I'm in Washington, D.C. Council President, can you hear me?
Yes, we can, sir. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you so very much. I just left the White House about 30 minutes ago. We were able to meet with members of Congress, of Senate, and to discuss some concerns for our city, for our state. So it's very productive. I'm here for a couple of days and then I'm right back. But this is a trip I take with the urban mayors as the vice president of the urban mayors of New Jersey. Council President, I want to begin by acknowledging the two phenomenal women on the city council. Councilwoman Tanya Mello and Councilwoman Maritza Colon Montañez, obviously because of your leadership, your commitment to serve our entire community, but highlight the remarkable leadership of women all throughout our entire city. I'm so excited to see Councilwoman Montañez on with Councilwoman Mello, as we have now increased the number of women representing. And I also noticed in the crowd that we had Commissioners Abril Morales and Commissioner Leslie Zuniga of the Board of Education. I believe this may be the very first time in history that we have a Board of Education of more women than men, being 5 women, along with Marianne Percy, Judith Sanchez, Vice President of the Board of Education, and Christina Schratz. So we're very excited to see women as leaders in our city continue to be an amazing example. Councilwoman Montañez had shared that she had never seen Mrs. Hunter, Mrs. Martin, and Mrs. Laura angry and upset. I have. I just want to share that. I have. If you need stories, I can tell you, having worked closely with them. Obviously, in terms of those who are honored this evening, Council President, City Council, and members of the City of Passaic who are here present, I have to begin by professing my deep, deep love and crush for one of these women, a crush that has only grown more and more because of her beauty, vivaciousness, remarkable energy. I mean, this woman is just, as you know, and I feel that it's appropriate to profess that that crush and love. Obviously, I'm speaking about Miss Muriel Hunter. Mrs. Hunter, you are such a leader in our city, such a remarkable mentor. Thank you so much for not only concerning yourself with what goes on in your immediate neighborhood, but throughout our entire city. You are a wealth of wisdom. Your faith is inspiring to all those who are around you. Your willingness to speak truth without hesitation keeps us all accountable. And I think you are remarkable pick to be honored as one of the women in March as Women's History Month. Kathy Martin, as already has been mentioned, you began your career early in the city of Passaic. You have risen to the highest level of position and influence in administration. And I mean that because people call you first, whether it's the chief of police, whether it's the council president, whether it's other officials or community members. You present to everyone this welcoming and open persona, an individual who is willing to help, someone who not only takes the calls, but makes the conversation enjoyable. That is a rare quality. You are an intelligent, strongly motivated woman, an amazing mother, a committed wife. And as you continue to grow in your journey of faith, I share publicly that I have learned so much from you, from your walk, from your humility, and from your willingness to get things done. Those of us who know Kathy, and Rick is sitting right next to her, Kathy's one of those people who can't leave a job undone. She closes the loop, and if you're in the middle of it, watch out, because she wants to make sure to get that job done. I have unfortunately been at the tail end of Kathy's way where she's like, we need to get this finished. And as I've shared, she's an inspiration, but I think Councilman Love had articulated it so well. She's there for the council, for everyone, but not because she took on the position in the administration's office. That's been her character, her persona, her MO from the very beginning. Kathy, thank you for your leadership. You've changed lives. You've transformed lives. As your family is here to witness, they may wonder, why are you there on weekends? Why are you there late at night? Why are you out for an assemblyman when you work for the mayor's office, or out for councilman's event or activities when your hours are supposed to end at 5 o'clock? I wish to speak to your family and say, as a result of her commitment, individuals who haven't had homes have been sheltered. People who have dealt with some of the most tragic, or abusive conditions have been connected to the resources and agencies that have not only gotten them out of that situation, rescued their lives, and turned them around. Individuals who started here in this city or in this country after a journey from another country and couldn't speak another language, received their education and job training and certification because of her leadership working along the other strong women of City Hall. I can go on and on. Kathy, I'm so very proud of you. We're all going to miss you. It was said by some of the council members that they're going to miss you. I think we can all echo those sentiments. You have been a remarkable blessing to all of us, and I thank you for your service. Mrs. Laura. Mrs. Laura, Nicaudi's Laura, allow me, and I would ask those present to indulge me a bit. What would you be besides Mrs. Laura without Laura or the mayor? You would be a remarkable nurse, an amazing leader, a strong woman of faith, an inspiration to women, a remarkably sharp mind, a compassionate heart, a person who believes that everyone should be treated with kindness, compassion, and respect. You have served long before I was mayor as the public health nurse of the city of Passaic, serving underserved families, visiting homes, no matter where they are, doing lead inspections, checking on children. You went on to serve as the public health nurse of Clifton, New Jersey during the pandemic, often putting yourself in the middle of some of the most dangerous and contagious situations and then coming home to watch 4 kids, ensuring that every single person was treated fairly and kindly. Oftentimes, so many letters were sent saying, we want to thank Nurse Nikki, as they called you affectionately, for taking the time to help me understand what's going on. You have served seniors and children and families from all walks of life. I say, what would you be without me? Because oftentimes, as the First Lady, when you are spoken about, it is in relation to your connection to me and my office. But I have to state publicly that I feel humbled in the presence of your leadership. That though the saying that Councilwoman Mello shared, behind every man is a great woman, I say beside me and oftentimes in front of me is this great, vivacious, articulate, educated, incredible, strong woman of color who stands up firm for everyone and is an example and an amazing motivation to women and men and all alike. You know, Nikki, one of the challenges that I face as mayor, as our health department has seen the turnover of, I think, over 5 nurses, it's hard for us to keep a nurse in Passaic. Guys, if you know any nurses, tell them to apply. Because of the challenges of our community. Seriously, we need. Because of the challenges, oftentimes the health department calls behind my back to ask Nikki, could you please come back? You were the public health nurse before the mayor. You are kind enough not to be around, or wise enough not to be around City Hall when I'm there. But so oftentimes you volunteer your hours as a nurse for health screenings without being paid, or to come and help us give out materials to children and families or food, or to partner up with so many of us in office. Nikki, I get to see the you behind the scenes, the you that sometimes struggle because you have responsibilities as a mother and married to one of the most challenging individuals in America. Yes, I see you laughing. The camera's on you. But I again am so overwhelmingly proud and in awe of your resilience. You started off here in Passaic. You served in Union Baptist Church in the choir. Your roots run deep in this city, and I would be proud to be mentioned in connection when you are being recognized. You are my strength and my love, and one of the greatest blessings I've ever received from the Lord Most High. Each night you ensure that our children pray and do their homework, and you continue to instill those most valuable principles and beliefs that have shaped our lives. I thank you, Nikki, for not just being my wife and their mother, but a remarkable leader in the city of Passaic. Thank you, Council President, for this opportunity. To share with the public. Thank you, everyone.
Mayor, I don't know how to follow you, so I won't pretend to. We are blessed to have a number of dignitaries with us tonight. Can we please ask members of our school board to stand for just a moment to be recognized? How about members of various boards of the city of Passaic, from ABC to Housing Authority? Could you please rise for just a moment? The deputy mayors are with us. Lady Hiller is here. How about members of organizations which make the city run? Churches, organizations, the Boys and Girls. Any members there? Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, we are blessed tonight as we've been blessed so many nights of our lives. Tonight we add a little bit extra by honoring women and all that they have done. At this time, we will take a brief recess so that we can all take advantage of the wonderful desserts, cupcakes that have been brought, baked by a woman, no doubt.
Tony.
No, by Tony, even better. A man can do things too. So we'll take a brief break and then come back into session. Number 6 on our agenda, hearing of citizens. In accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act, NJSA 10:4-1 et sec, the council opens every public meeting for comments of the public. However, in accordance with NJSA 10:4-12, nothing in this act shall be construed to limit the discretion of the public body to permit, prohibit, or regulate the active participation in any meeting. Therefore, please be advised that the council will not entertain any comments from persons who communicate obscene material, make statements which are considered bias, intimidation, in which a person intends to intimidate any individual or group because of race, color, religion, gender, handicap, sexual orientation, or ethnicity, or makes comments intending to harass or speak any offensive language. The person who makes these statements will relinquish their allotted 5 minutes for public discussion. If you would like to address the council, we welcome whatever you'd like to say.
Council President.
5 minutes and 5 minutes only. We ask you, please,
Council President.
share with us your first name.
Council President.
Mayor, forgive me, I didn't realize you were still here. Before we go into hearing, we'll have the pleasure of the mayor's update. Mayor?
Thank you, Council President. Thank you very much. So I have a few things to share, and I'll try to be succinct on them. But first, I want to once again extend the collective condolences of City Hall, my colleagues on the City Council, myself, administration, all those who have been impacted by the loss of Mr. Frederick and Miss Yvonne Edwards. They had their funeral service at Mount Pilgrim Missionary Baptist Church under the leadership of Reverend Sally McDowell. She has been a remarkable and amazing leader during this time. I want to thank all of the officials who have reached out regarding the family, all of the residents who assisted and donated. They were going through a struggle. This was an elderly couple that unfortunately succumbed to a fire a couple of Sundays ago. And I just want to, if they're watching, to Sharonda and Inez and the children, their grandchildren, their great-grandchildren, their entire church family, I know Miss Francine Wise was also close to them as she was connected to our senior program. We provided services. Our condolences go out to them. And again, I want to just thank everyone who assisted. And I also want to highlight Bragg Funeral Home that went very far in trying to accommodate this family that had to travel down in this tragedy and have very little resources or means. And I just want to thank the community for coming together. Again, the funeral just passed, and the family really wanted to express their appreciation for everyone's support, prayers, and well wishes. I also wanted to share that this week, Council President, members of the City Council in the City of Passaic, we welcomed the Mayor of Puebla, Mexico, Mr. Adan Dominguez, who came down in order to connect with us in a symbolic Sister City Act, expressing our desire to work together. We know that we have a large Mexican population in the City of Passaic. We have the statewide Mexican parade in Passaic, and the largest number of individuals from who are here who claim or state that they have roots in Mexico, claim or state rather, that connotes something different. They state that they come from Puebla, Mexico. That's why I wanted to give some context as to why we have the mayor of Puebla coming down and wanting to visit. He toured the city, went by the statue of General Zaragoza in terms of the Battle of Puebla. Most people know it as Cinco de Mayo, but it represents a turning point in the war for freedom for Mexico. So we were excited to show him some of the areas in the city. He visited Mi Casas Puebla and also went down by our parks and some of our commercial districts. He was impacted by our diversity and our amazing community. I want to thank Deputy Mayor Jamie Delgado, who was here present during that time. So I want to thank him for being here along with us. I also wanted to share that we recently had a partial collapse of a building in the city of Passaic on President Street, and one of the buildings right next to it was structurally compromised. And these are buildings that are almost 100 years old. The extreme weather conditions that we have faced may have exacerbated pre-existing issues, as well as decades ago fires. We found ourselves with 70 residents displaced. I want to thank the immediate response of the police and fire. No one was hurt, thank God. The heroic decision by the chief of fire, Patrick Trenacos, to evacuate the building immediately, as well as the quick response of Alberto Ventura from our code, also working along with the business administrator. We were able to get the building assessed immediately. Unfortunately, they will not be able to go back into the building and have been permanently displaced. I want to thank our OEM leader, Walter Portal, the Red Cross. We received calls from the governor's office, Congress, senators, obviously our assemblymen, council president, who has been very close, and all of our council members. They were temporarily held up in one of our schools in terms of temporary residence or refuge. They are now at Dignity House, though there is a code blue, and we continue to face challenges in terms of families that are victims of whether fires or natural disasters or structural compromise of buildings that are over 100 years old. I want to thank this council and all of the leaders that work so hard to ensure that we can provide a safety net. It has always been my approach and my belief that we are here to provide a hand up, not a handout, a safety net, not a hammock, but a safety net that will catch vulnerable individuals in the ground, and we assist them to get back up. And that segues into, briefly, I want to just thank this council on your leadership, considering the challenges that these families will now have because the building will be torn down, that they have to find a new place to go. Working with the business administrator, we continue to push for the owner to be held accountable, to provide appropriate resources along with our attorneys and obviously with the appropriate officials. But I want to thank this council for supporting the initiative to expand opportunities and access to affordable housing. This situation most recently has highlighted the need. It's not just that these families need to go somewhere. It's not just whether there are available apartments. These families that have been there for decades, they need to find affordable apartments and where they're going to live. Seeing the state recently follow our example and pass very similar affordable housing legislation, which now sits on the governor's desk, I want to thank our assemblyman, representative of the state, who has been a loud voice and sat on a committee where I went to testify on behalf of affordable housing for the state of New Jersey. I was so proud as mayor to see this council be leaders in this area and to not have to wait for others, but rather stand together and be proactive. It is a need throughout all of our state, and the unique and important approach, because access to affordable housing has shown, obviously historically, studies have been consistent to be the most effective strategy for reducing child poverty and increasing economic mobility. Allowing affordability for families ensures that children can have better education, better health care, and better opportunities, forgive me, better opportunities in life. In fact, many studies from Princeton, can you still hear me? I'm sorry, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, sorry. Studies from Princeton and Stanford have shown that children and families that have greater access to affordable housing end up earning 30% more as adults and being educated more. So thank you to the City Council for this amazing leadership in this area. I want to share that in the month of March, continuing highlighting women's history, that our Deputy Mayor of Veterans Affairs, Minnie Hillard Cousins, and the VFW Post, combined now as the Center for the DAV and the American Legion, will be opening up this month in March. We are excited to see them get the keys and open up this building. It was a few years ago where we were in a dire situation with very little hope. And coming together as a community, we came up with a solution that provided veteran housing and secured the future of this most important post. Thank you, Deputy Mayor Minnie Heather Cousins, for all of your hard work. I also want to take the opportunity to acknowledge the 40th anniversary of the Ecuadorian Alliance. Recently, the YBH dinner honoring Teacher of the Year, Parents of the Year, and Leaders of the Year. I was there with Council President Scheer, and it was a wonderful ceremony. I also want to acknowledge Miss Madonna, Lady Madonna, as she's known, fondly from the Madonna Funeral Home, for her Right Path Scholarship event that really raised awareness and raised funds to provide children with great opportunities to go to college. I also wanted to share that this month, City Council and to the residents, we are implementing a citywide initiative where for the next few weeks, DPW will be driving in every ward in the city to assess and fix the potholes on the road, cleaning up and working hard to address issues of quality of life, as we do every spring season. During the winter, our roads face challenges, plowing and salting and snow and a lot of trucks. And then during the spring, we hit hard to address these issues. Today, many saw DPW working diligently and without taking breaks. They went nonstop. I saw them all day working at the River Drive, cleaning up areas on our jurisdiction and areas that belong to the DOT. They don't always respond right away, but I want to thank our DPW for all of their hard work. I also want to take this opportunity to acknowledge that there are areas that we have just finished resurfacing and striping: Pine Street, Gregory Avenue, Garden Street, and Columbia Avenue. They are completed, and we will continue the resurfacing and the milling and paving of many roads in the city. And if I may, here in Washington, DC, as I take the opportunity, and I will be able to speak to the Deputy Director of HUD, the Director, Marcia Fudge, has retired. I know we were all very fond of her. She's been a remarkable asset to the President's cabinet and a diligent advocate and champion for affordable housing and ending homelessness. But I'll be able to speak to HUD directly regarding resources and programs for the city, as well as DOT regarding infrastructure investment and repairs in our city, not just streets, but potential parking decks. Speak to the EDA and many committees on behalf of the city, and I look forward to coming back with reports. Today, we met with many Congress members, senators, and directors with the urban mayors, and we're able to learn and receive information about grants and resources that will help our city. And then lastly, and I'll conclude with this, Council President, and I don't typically do this, but it is important that I would address it publicly as it was a public request. I ask you to indulge me, and if the attorney can guide me in any way if necessary. But this month, I received a specific request. I don't typically share requests that we receive in the city, but I think it's important to share it publicly because I shared it with the group that came by. The organization of Christian Faith for Families have requested to raise what they described as the Christian flag. As mayor, I explained that the answer would be no. I was told that I was somehow, for lack of desire to share the term, not being fair or objective or somehow against religion. I share publicly I'm not. I state this because I believe all groups and all people should be treated equally. However, the same way that every group can equally receive a yes, every group must equally also be able to receive a no, as long as our stance and commitment is consistent. Equality doesn't mean yes always. It means the same way one group can be said no to, your group can be said no to. Our city has been consistent, welcoming, and supportive of everyone. However, our policies have been the same, always. And I believe that it's important to share because during this month of so much religious observance, my position has always been consistent, and I thank the council for their support. Where we provide for one, we must provide for all. And where we have been clear that it is no for all. I share that with the group because I believe that the group has stated that they want to bring it up, and I'm not present, so I don't know who's present at the meeting. But whether it's faith or any other belief, I have always stood firm, and I stand with the council. We support you, but it is your right to do what you want on your private property and to be supported and protected in any expression that is allowed in the public. However, our policies remain consistent. So, though I don't typically address that, and I may not be around because of the battery in my place, if it does come up, Council President, I wanted to put that on the record, that though I'm very fond of every faith-based community, I personally am an individual who has deep faith. It's not always easy to say no, but the answer is no. We have been consistent that our policy covers geographic areas, and that we will support anything you want to do on private lots, on private property, everything that is allowed. But public space, we are very, very consistent in terms of making it available for all and no special yeses or nos to anyone. So as mayor, that's not always easy, but we always refer to our attorneys and our laws on the books. Again, I thank you for indulging that additional information. It was something that came up. It has come up before by religious groups, and we have had to publicly state that we support all faiths and all groups, but we have been consistent in our approach. Thank you, Council President. If there are any questions by the council, I'm willing to answer. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Any questions to the mayor from the council? Mayor, thank you very much. You mentioned you're away for a day or two.
I am away tomorrow. We have the all-day meeting at the White House, so we will meet with many members of the cabinet and directors to discuss each of our municipalities, and then I shall be back by next week, because after that I go to a different conference on behalf of the city, but I'll be back by next week.
Thank you for your representation, Mayor.
Thank you.
Excellent job. Thank you, sir. Madam Council, we read already the statements of We read already the statement to the meeting. We're good in terms of the hearing of citizens. We're good on that. It doesn't need to be repeated, does it?
No, it does not.
Very good. At this point, let me just add that everyone is limited to 5 minutes, please. After 4 minutes, the clerk will notify us that you have 1 minute with which to finalize your comments. And when the second bell rings, it will be 5 minutes. Is there anyone who would like to address the council at this time? If there is, please come to the podium.
Good evening. Minnie Hiller Cousins, 368 Highland Avenue.
Ms. Vice Mayor, if you could bring the microphone a little bit closer.
Minnie Hiller Cousins, 368 Highland Avenue.
Thank you, ma'am.
I would first of all like to thank the mayor, and then I'd like to thank the city council and my church, Mount Pilgrim Missionary Baptist Church, for the outstanding job that you did when the Edwards' life was lost. People will come and talk about if you hadn't did it right, but I'm waiting to see how many people come and tell the truth today. It needs to be said, we came together as a family, not Passaic. We came together as a family. The family had just went through a death and they were on their way to travel back south. Some of the people don't realize that you come for a funeral, 3-4 days, you're ready to go. That Sunday, they were going to leave in the evening, returning back to the south. And here was another loss of 2, not 1, but 2. When I tell you how proud I am of you, is that people were calling me saying, it was amazing. It was as if everybody had on a collar and was a person of faith. You took that family in your arms, not just for 1 day, but the entire time. They left yesterday going back home. And I had the opportunity to talk to many of them as they got on the road, and they said, this is an amazing city. So I want to thank you and let you know that sometimes you don't hear thank you, but it is the small things, the prayers, the calls, the cards, the food, and just the silence of letting them weep and not in fear that they would be abandoned. So thank you so much. I personally want to thank you for your support for the VFW, which will be known as the Veteran Support Center. We brought them all together so that not one person has to run all the way across town and all to get an answer. But it could not have been done without you. The mayor, you know, I know nothing about how to put paperwork together for this. And Rick always came over and gave me his hand to guide me through there. I thank you from all the veterans. We've lost a lot of veterans this year. But Mr. Trennis's name will go on that building. His son called me, said, when's the building gonna open? I said, soon, very soon. So I thank you, because the day that I got knocked unconscious, I didn't know what I was gonna do, but I knew the building was unsafe for anyone to come back in. So again, thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Good evening, Lori Mack. I'd like to speak about a few things on my agenda. First of all, I'd like to speak about that I'm a security. I work
A little bit louder, please, sir.
I work as a guard at a synagogue on Brook Avenue. And there's a number of bikers on Brook Avenue that come and go and do wheelies. And this week, a few of them stopped on the sidewalk and then urinated on the sidewalk. And I'm like, this is disgusting. Why do we have to see this behavior in our city, allowing them to be urinating and even also doing wheelies in our city? And I'm sick and tired of it. And I've spoken about this a number of times, and we need to have a stop immediately. Thank you.
Thank you.
Diana Tiburcio, 162 Mead Avenue. First, I'd like to say thank you for this beautiful program for Women's History Month. It's amazing to hear about the great work that women in Passaic have done and are doing. I think Councilwoman Mello was right that all women deserve to be acknowledged, heard, and embraced every day. And it takes a strong woman to tell the truth and hold others accountable to that change. So please listen to my truth. I am Diana Tabercio, and I'm a proud product of Passaic City. My unwavering desire to see it flourish and stem from my deep roots here. I grew up on Meade Ave buying dollar empanadas. I played recreation softball for 10 years. I learned English at Vincent Capuano School. I was honor roll student every single year, eventually graduating as salutatorian of Passaic High School with an AP honor of distinction, student council president, student representative to the Board of Education. But behind all these accomplishments, there was a struggle. Despite all the activities I did, that I participated in, I carried a sense of sadness and fear. I was scared to fully embrace and express my true identity because I was afraid of the discrimination and rejection that would come with it. And that's why I'm committed to changing the narrative and reality for students in Passaic who, like me, have faced similar challenges. Today, I stand before you as a member of the LGBTQI community and a co-founder of the Passaic Pride Festival. First and foremost, I want to express my sincere gratitude to Hector Laura for supporting our event last year. Providing tables and chairs made a significant difference, ensuring comfort and accessibility for all attendees for all ages, from the señoras to the little kids who are running around and just needed a place to sit down. And for those of you who aren't familiar with Passaic Pride, allow me to provide some insight. Passaic Pride is a celebration of the intersectionality between Latinx, Black, and LGBT communities. It was co-founded by myself and Camo Samiro in 2022, and it emerged as a response to organized student protests against the Board of Education for not allowing them to raise the pride flag. These students initially sought to raise the pride flag, but this movement quickly evolved into a greater call for inclusivity in our city. They weren't just asking for the visibility of the flag. They wanted a more welcoming community for residents of all sexual orientations. Because for reference, in Passaic, there are 0 support groups that are targeted towards LGBTQ members. There are 0 targeted resources for members of our community, and there is yet to be a needs assessment to address the specific needs that LGBTQI residents of Passaic will face. And this absence underscores the urgent need for initiatives like Passaic Pride, because it's not just a celebration, it's an actual response to the challenges that LGBTQI individuals face. It's a platform to honor and celebrate the representation that students protested. Moreover, it's an environment to create an inclusive and joyous space for people of our community. Last year, Passaic Pride welcomed an impressive 150 attendees, all ages, genders, and sexual orientations. Notably, some esteemed allies and organizations were the Children's Day Preschool, Berry Gardens Complex, the Sidoti Chiropractic Center, NJ Casa, Mi Casa es Puebla, the Sam and Devorah Foundation for Transgender Youth, and the Latino Action Network Foundation. And this year, our partnerships continue to grow with the Robert Wood Johnson Foundation, Hudson Pride Center, Garden State Equality, and La Casa de Don Pedro. And today, I'm here to stand here and ask for your support. Our team is tirelessly working behind the scenes, organizing activities, getting performers, and raising funds to bring this event into fruition. But we can't do it alone. We're asking you to extend a helping hand, because your support can make a significant difference in the success of this event. We urge you not to remain silent on the issue, but to actively engage. It's inspiring to see other cities like Clifton, Rutherford, Montclair, Newark, Hoboken, and Jersey City take proactive steps to show their support for Pride. From raising pride flags to hosting pride parades, these cities have demonstrated their commitment to inclusivity and acceptance, and I think it's our turn. I urge you to stand with us in supporting the LGBT community in Passaic. Together, let's make this event a reality and show the strength of our community. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you. Thank you very much for your presentation. Anyone else wish to address the council?
Seeing no one.
Hello, how are you? Good evening, everyone. I'm usually not on this side of the microphone. Good evening, council president, Mayor Laura, Mr. Fernandez, and Kathy, who we're really going to miss. And Kathy Martin, thank you so much for everything all these years. And also, I'm really sorry to hear about the loss of this lovely couple that we And it saddens and it's inspiring to hear that, Passaic came together to help them through their loss and also the people who lost their homes for now on President Street. I wanted to thank, in particular, Councilman Melo for those really inspiring words in honor of Women's History Month, of the people, including herself, who are honored here tonight, but also in honor of Women's History Month to celebrate the woman who just spoke, Diana, who is a really strong role model here in Passaic, who made a very compassionate speech, but one that's not an easy one to make here. And in that spirit, I also want to extend the thanks to this city for always being such a welcoming place, including for this branch of the diverse family tree that we have here in Passaic. I've been here about it's 19 years now. And when I came to Passaic, I didn't know one person. And now I walk in here and I feel very welcomed and welcomed around the city in a way that I never felt even in Jersey City where I lived, or sometimes, New York City where I grew up. So it's a great honor to be part of this family. And I appreciate that last year's event, which we were talking about, Diana was speaking of, was helped by the city and welcomed by the city, and furthering the acceptance and compassion that the city has for all its residents. So we thank you for that, and we look forward to your assistance and working with you for the next annual event that's coming up this June. So thanks again, and have a good evening, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else wish to address the council?
Seeing no hands, I'm going to close the public portion.
Motion and second. Roll call, please, to
Councilman Monk?
close.
Yes.
Councilman Love?
Yes.
Councilwoman Mello?
Yes.
Councilman Schwartz?
Yes.
Councilman Garcia?
Yes.
Councilwoman Colon Montañez?
Yes.
And Council President Sher.
Yes, thank you. We are up to ordinances for second and final reading on our agenda. Hearing is required. Number one, proposed ordinance 2435-24. An ordinance amending Chapter 317 zoning, Article 3 definitions and word usage, Section 317-10 definitions, Article 6, conditional uses, Section 317-16, all zones, and Article 4 schedule of regulation, Section 317-11, adoption of a schedule of the City of Passaic Code to permit accessory dwelling units in all zoning districts. Introduction and first reading were held on February 20. At this time, is there a motion, please, to open public hearing?
Move it.
Second.
Motion and second to open public hearing.
Councilman Monk?
Yes.
Councilman Love?
Yes.
Councilwoman Mello?
Yes.
Councilman Schwartz?
Yes.
Councilman Garcia?
Yes.
Councilwoman Colon Montañez?
Yes.
And Council President Sher.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, at this time, the council is contemplating proposed ordinance 2435-24. Is there anyone who would like to address the council on this item and this item only? Motion to close public. Is there a second, please?
Second.
Motion and second to close public hearing.
Councilman Monk?
Yes.
Councilman Love?
Yes.
Councilwoman Mello?
Yes.
Councilman Schwartz?
Yes.
Councilman Garcia?
Yes.
Councilwoman Colon Montañez?
Yes.
And Council President Sher.
Yes, thank you, Councilman Monk.
Thank you, Council President. Just two comments, please. The first one is, at the last council meeting, we had made a few revisions, right, to this ordinance. One was to, from 2 down to 1, and the other one, I believe, was that the deed restriction is 20 years. The copy I have here has 10 years. So,
I can tell you that change was made, and that was what was presented to the planning board, which they approved and recommended at our last planning board meeting, was 1 accessory unit and a 20-year deed restriction. So that is on the record. I even said it publicly The mayor had conceded to that fact, and that's what is being proposed for vote this evening. I don't know what happened with the changes, but those changes were made, and that is exactly what was presented to the
Are
planning.
they reflected in the council, in the ordinance the council's been provided?
We made the changes, submitted it. I don't know if, let me look at what Councilman Monk has.
No, it says 10 as council.
So I could tell you that those changes were made.
Number 9.
Number 9 is 20 years. I know because I made the changes myself. So number 9 is 20 years, and it is a maximum of one, no more than one accessory dwelling unit, which is number 6.
Okay, thank you. Okay.
Anything else, Councilman?
Yeah, one other question. I don't know if the mayor's still on.
The mayor is on, yes.
Mayor?
I think the mayor is.
Yes?
I am.
Hi. Just wondering if you have any objection to this. Most of the ordinances typically include the council as well. If you have any objection where we include the council? Like it says, whereas Mayor Hector Lohr wishes to amend the zoning ordinance to permit accessory units, and further on, whereas Mayor Hector Lohr wishes to address the growing need of affordable units to include the council, being that we're voting on this as well.
Yes, I believe at the end of the language, it should have included the council, did it not? I requested it to.
Oh, I got it. Okay, let me just go further down here.
For the record, Councilman, as you're aware, the council makes these decisions, not the mayor.
Sure, I propose ordinances and present, and the council votes on whether they agree with the proposals or not. So, yes, that should have been added at the end.
Below.
I see you see further down, it says, therefore it is ordained that the city council of the city of Passaic hereby accepts the ordinance. Fine, okay, fine, thank you.
Yes,
Thank you.
the council is always included.
Thank you.
Any other questions, please?
Just to clarify.
Council Garcia?
Number 10, where it says no accessory structure might be built on any lot on which there is not principal building or structure. Can I get some clear on that?
Mr. Fernandez?
Yes, so number 10, no accessory dwelling unit. So I don't know why that change wasn't made, but it's no accessory dwelling unit may be built on any lot which there is no principal structure. So remember that this is as an accessory to the home that exists. It cannot stand alone as its own use. Then it's in essence, it's no longer accessory. So the language can stay the same because no accessory structure, period, can be on a principal lot because then it's no longer an accessory structure. There's really no change. But if you want to clarify, we can just add no accessory structure / dwelling unit.
Would that be your preference, Councilman?
Thank you.
Can we include that without having to repass?
Yes, it's not a substantive change, it's just a clarification.
If we can put that down for the record. Thank you, Councilman. Any other questions?
Council President?
I'm sorry?
Council President? Yes, if I may, just for the public and those who aren't privy to this information, an accessory unit would be a secondary housing structure. So when we say accessory, this means in complement to your home, meaning an empty lot that doesn't have a home, you cannot build a unit and claim that it's accessory. Sometimes I think we use the terms and don't realize that those who are watching or in the crowd may not be familiar with the terms. I just wanted to be clear on that.
But a separate garage unconnected to a principal structure of a house, that is accepted, yes?
It is permitted as long as it's on the same lot.
Do we have a motion?
Second.
Motion and second. This is to accept the ordinance.
Councilman Monk?
Yes.
Councilman Love?
Yes.
Councilman Mello?
Yes.
Councilman Short?
Yes.
Councilman Garcia?
Yes.
Councilman Colon Montañez?
Yes.
And Council President Chair.
Yes, thank you. Number 2, please. Proposed ordinance 2436-24. An ordinance amending Chapter 317 zoning, Article 8 site plan approval, adding sections 317-30, affordable housing mandatory set aside. Introduction first reading was held on February 20. Is there a motion, please, to open public hearing?
Move it.
Second.
Motion and second. Roll call, please.
Councilman Monk,
Yes.
Councilman Love,
Yes.
Councilman Mello,
Yes.
Councilman Schwartz,
Yes.
Councilman Garcia,
Yes.
Councilman Colom Montañez,
Yes.
and Council President Shear.
Yes, thank you. At this time, ladies and gentlemen, the council is contemplating proposed ordinance 2436-24. Is there anyone who would like to address the council on this item and this item only?
Seeing no hands, I move to close the public portion.
Second.
Motion and second, roll call, please.
Councilman Monk,
Yes.
Councilman Love,
Yes.
Councilman Mello,
Yes.
Councilman Schwartz,
Yes.
Councilman Garcia.
Yes.
Councilman Colom Montañez.
Yes.
And Council President Shear.
Yes, thank you. Councilman Monk, your light is on.
Yes. Thank you, Council President. This ordinance has no time period. You know, it's not like a 10-year deed or a 20-year deed, right?
It has a 20-year.
Item 5.
Item 5?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't see that. Fine, thank you.
Any other questions, sir?
No, that was it. I didn't see it. Thank you. Okay.
Are there any other questions on proposed ordinance 2436-24? Is there a motion, please, to close public hearing?
Second. Councilman Monk,
Yes.
Councilman Love,
Yes.
Councilman Mello,
Yes.
Councilman Schwartz.
Yes.
Councilman Garcia.
Yes.
Councilman Colom Montañez. And Council President Shear.
Yes, thank you. On the ordinance, please, is there a maker?
Move it.
Second.
Councilman Monk,
Yes.
Councilman Love,
Yes.
Councilman Mello,
Yes.
Councilman Schwartz,
Yes.
Councilman Garcia.
Yes.
Councilman Colom Montañez.
Yes.
And Council President Shear.
Yes, we're up to number 3, please. Proposed ordinance 2439-24, an ordinance adopting a redevelopment plan for blocks 4062, lots 36 and 39, corresponding to 282-288 Hope Avenue in the city of Passaic, New Jersey. Introduction and first reading were held on March 5, 2024. Is there a motion, please, to open public hearing?
Move it.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilman Monk,
Yes.
Councilman Love,
Yes.
Councilman Mello,
Yes.
Councilman Schwartz,
Yes.
Councilman Garcia,
Yes.
Councilman Colom Montañez.
Yes.
And Council President Shear.
Yes, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. At this time, the council will be contemplating proposed ordinance 2439-24. Is there anyone here who would like to speak to the ordinance and this ordinance only?
Seeing no hands, I move to close the public portion.
Second.
Motion and second to close. Roll call.
Councilman Monk,
Yes.
Councilman Love,
Yes.
Councilman Mello,
Yes.
Councilman Schwartz,
Yes.
Councilman Garcia.
Yes.
Councilman Colom Montañez.
Yes.
And Council President Shear.
Yes, thank you. We open public hearing? Yes? At this time, and this is on 2439.
We opened.
We opened and we're,
Now we're gonna move on.
okay, we're waiting on if there's anyone who would like to address the council on the item. We close.
Close.
We close public. Now on the vote.
Yes.
Very good. On proposed ordinance 2439-24, is there a maker of the motion, please? Is there a second?
Second.
Before roll call, Councilman Monk, I see your light.
Yeah, just a quick question. On page 6 of this plan, page 6, under building, facade, streetscape, and layouts, states all rooftop mechanical equipment, including cell phone antennas, shall be screened from view. Is it allowed, cell phone towers in residential areas?
Yeah, that actually is.
It is.
Yeah, but they'd have to get approval from the board. It'd go to a board.
Mr. Fernandez, a little bit louder, please.
Yes, so cell antennas, there's an ongoing debate on the beneficial status of an antenna within the state of New Jersey. They don't go as far as saying it's inherently beneficial, but courts have ruled that it's beneficial enough to be recognized in all zones as a positive. So, I mean, this would end up, if they were to do an antenna, it would have to go to a zoning board, but it would be required for it to be screened from the side, it would go to, not the planning board, but it would have to be screened if they decide to put it up.
Does that fall under the restrictions of building height?
So in our code, in our current code, that is an exemption, just like elevator tower, or the mechanicals at the top of the elevator, or an HVAC unit and things like that. There's a limit, however, within our ordinance of how high the antennas can go. They're typically not, so if you were to ask me, what are the thoughts of them possibly doing one? Based on the height limitations of this specific plan, it would be highly unlikely that they would even propose an antenna. This is just kind of standard language we throw in there. Antennas are typically on much higher buildings.
Right.
So this is a much lower building. It's a
likely.
3 to 4 story building. So it's just standard language we put in there. This would not be one of those buildings that would likely have that.
All right, thank you. Thank you.
We are in the middle of a vote on 243924. Clerk, if you could please do roll call.
Councilman Monk,
Yes.
Councilman Love,
Yes.
Councilman Mello,
Yes.
Councilman Short,
Yes.
Councilman Garcia,
Yes.
Councilman Colon Montañez,
Yes.
and Council President Shield.
Yes, thank you. Number 4, please, proposed ordinance 2440-24, an ordinance amending the designation of restricted parking for disabled persons by New Jersey license plate number. Introduction and first reading were held on March 5. Is there a motion, please, to open public hearing?
Move it.
Motion
Second.
second, please. Motion and second, roll call, please.
Councilman Monk,
Yes.
Councilman Love,
Yes.
Councilwoman Mello,
Yes.
Councilman Short,
Yes.
Councilman Garcia,
Yes.
Councilwoman Colon Montañez,
Yes.
and Council President Shield.
Yes, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, the council will be contemplating proposed ordinance 2440-24. Is there anyone who would like to address the council on this item and this item only?
Seeing no hands, I'm going to close the public portion.
Is there a second, please?
Second.
Motion and second, roll call, please.
Councilman Monk,
Yes.
Councilman Love,
Yes.
Councilman Mello,
Yes.
Councilman Short,
Yes.
Councilman Garcia,
Yes.
Councilwoman Colon Montañez,
Yes.
and Council President Shield.
Yes, thank you. We're under communications, Roman numeral 8, items 5 through 11. Are there any questions, please, on 5 through 10? Any questions on 5 through 10? Seeing none at this time, is there a motion, please, to accept 5 through 10?
Move.
Second.
Motion and second, roll call, please.
Council President, we still need to vote on item number 4. We didn't adopt yet.
Okay, let's take 5 to 10 first and then go back.
Councilman Monk,
Yes.
Councilman Love,
Yes.
Councilwoman Mello,
Yes.
Councilman Short,
Yes.
Councilman Garcia,
Yes.
Councilwoman Colon Montañez,
Yes.
and Council President Shield.
Yes, thank you. I apologize to the council on number 4. We did everything as required except the actual vote, which would be helpful. Is there a motion, please, to accept proposed ordinance 2440-24?
Move.
Move
Second.
and second, roll call, please.
Councilman Monk,
Yes.
Councilman Love,
Yes.
Councilwoman Mello,
Yes.
Councilman Short,
Yes.
Councilman Garcia,
Yes.
Councilwoman Colon Montañez,
Yes.
and Council President Shield.
Yes, thank you. A special vote on number 11, please. Is there a maker of 11?
Move it.
Motion, is there a second? Motion and second on 11.
Councilman Monk,
Yes.
Councilman Love,
Abstention.
Councilwoman Mello,
Yes.
Councilman Short,
Yes.
Councilman Garcia,
Yes.
Councilwoman Colon Montañez, and Council President Shield.
Yes, thank you. All matters listed are considered to be routine in nature. Items 12 through 15. Is there a motion, please, to accept? If there are no questions on 12 through 15?
So move.
Second.
Motion and second on 12 through 15.
Councilman Monk,
Yes.
Councilman Love,
Yes.
Councilwoman Mello,
Yes.
Councilman Short,
Yes.
Councilman Garcia,
Yes.
Councilwoman Colon Montañez,
Yes.
and Council President Shield.
Yes, special vote on 16, please. Is there a maker?
Move it.
Motion
Second.
and second on 16, excuse me.
Councilman Monk,
Yes.
Councilman Love,
Abstention.
Councilwoman Mello,
Yes.
Councilman Short,
Yes.
Councilman Garcia,
Yes.
Councilwoman Colon Montañez,
Abstain.
and Council President Shield.
Yes, thank you. We're up to resolutions, Roman numeral 9 on our agenda. We have before us items 17 through 28. Number 17 is a resolution authorizing closed executive session. Madam Council, do we need closed executive?
No, Council President.
Thank you, ma'am. Mr. Fernandez?
No, Council President.
Members of the council? That being the case, taking
None
item
at this time.
18, taking item,
The mayor.
Mayor, I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. None at this time. No, I said.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. 18 through 28. Are there any questions, please, on 18 through 28? Councilman Monk?
Yeah, item 19, please. This is for flooding from McDonald Brook. Third Ward. The city spent over the years quite a few dollars there, right, on redoing the walls, called the brook, right? So much of this. What's this additional?
So this was after the storm that damaged a lot of that work you just mentioned and created flooding issues. We've been working with FEMA. The reason this is a rejection of the proposal is because what FEMA is giving us as an allowance, this bid exceeded. So we're trying to keep it in a more reasonable level. So we're asking for the council to reject this so we can put it out to bid again.
And you know, the millions and millions of dollars that were spent, there was no type of warranty, anything from the contractor that built the initial?
Not for an act of God, right? So there was a massive storm. We felt it throughout the entire state. And
did other areas get as affected, Mr. Fernandez?
Say other areas. So there were throughout the state. There were many areas that got affected, but this is our waterway. So in the city of Passaic, the areas that you got most damage was in the McDonald Brook, the Van,
as well as Pulaski Park. Pulaski Park, we ended up losing one of our field council president for a number of years. Number 11 School Park, where we just had the brand new artificial turf, that was completely lost within the city. And then, as the BA mentioned, throughout the state.
So how much is FEMA offering us, and what is the expectation of the cost?
So FEMA came in at 100 and change, and
100,000.
Yeah, and I think this thing was like 400,000.
That's quite a revision you're going to.
So we have to ask FEMA for it, and we're working on it. That's why we're asking for the rejection, because we have to rework the numbers and the request.
Council President?
Yes, Mayor.
Council President, I would like to share that we recently received news from our Congressman Bill Pascrell. I was excited to be here and speak to his staff that the city of Passaic has been awarded $1.6 million in order to invest in our McDonald Brooks concerns and areas there in terms of mitigation and work around that area. So we are excited. And I believe the BA can speak in more detail that the expectation when we put out the bid was that FEMA would allow for more. When FEMA restricted how much can be used, that's what's causing this situation of having to be put back out to bid.
So we're okay with this grant coming from Congressman Pascrell?
I'm sorry?
So to the best of your knowledge, we're good to count on this grant?
We are good to count on the $1.6 million. We received official communication. Obviously, as you know in government, and you know from the state, getting the call and the letter doesn't mean that we have the money the same day. So that we wish we could get the letter and say we could go to the bank immediately, but we are considering that $1.6 million grant that's going to make a huge difference in a lot of the measures that we've taken on the McDonald Brook with the green infrastructure, the resolving the issue with the culvert, the elevation of some of the areas and the additional inlets have mitigated many of the flooding concerns. But obviously, we have more to go, and we want to prevent any serious issues. We've had 3 lives that were lost as a result of storms in the area, and we've had a number of individuals that have gone through that brook. We continue to invest and remain diligent with our police, our fire, and emergency responders, but without resources and serious investment, there's no way we're going to make true headway.
Mayor, Mr. Fernandez, perhaps you could help me for just a moment. I've always been told that the problem, in fact, begins in Clifton and extends into Passaic. Is that the case, Mr. Fernandez?
So there are issues when they open the floodgates, literally, from Clifton, but the work that we did mitigated a lot of that issue. And so the current issue, the Passaic County is redoing the underpass, the canal, on Passaic Avenue. They should be working on that shortly to open up that barrier, which would alleviate the flow. But I have to tell you that all the work that we did upstream has really helped out a lot, and we haven't seen that issue. The downstream was more of the storm and the collapse due to the pressure of the storm. But I do have to say, and Mayor, I don't want to take any of your words if you want to add on to it, but for example, that parking lot that was created and all the inlets that we put in, the trees, the Mayor likes to talk about the oak trees that we found out actually absorbs more water than the willow tree, and all those things.
The maple tree.
The maple? Was it maple? I thought it was like an oak.
Maple.
The maple, sorry, see, I got the wrong tree, but has actually gone a really long way in the last couple of storms. We've been happy to say it has been significantly less severe. Mayor, did I state that correctly?
Very much so, but I do want to add, and just to give a little bit more context, is that I don't want to make it seem like it's our sister city alone. We have received reports from up county, oftentimes when there is torrential rains or storms, that those floodgates come as far up Passaic County as you can imagine. So it goes through Clifton as well. We advocated, and we want to thank the council members that partnered with us and our assemblymen for the Passaic County government to address infrastructure issues as well as address the specific issues at the McDonald's Brook. But that parking lot, you know, it's hard to understand because prior to that, there was a permeable surface and you would imagine that the water would go down. But because the way it was designed, the water was flowing directly into where the brook is, and then the water from the brook would rise, and it was creating this ponding and flooding issue. But now with the elevated level and the inlets, the water's going straight down. And as the business administrator articulated, in the last 4 storms, and we've been out there with the police and the fire, we haven't seen the flooding issues, and that's made a huge difference along with the green infrastructure. And for those who are watching, green infrastructure is when we're not adding brick, mortar, or paving, but rather we're expanding green in terms of grass or adding trees or creating conditions that remain consistent with what DEP and the EPA would love us to do, is preserve nature, keep open space, while as well addressing these issues of flooding or other conditions that could create public safety concerns. And I think the approach of this council and my administration, the engineers and everyone, has truly been a balanced one. But again, I'm so grateful for the relationships that we have. We often say, me and Councilman Schwartz say it all the time, relationships matter. And our relationships with the county, our relationships with the state, our relationships with federal government continue to provide resources, grants, and opportunities to work together to address this issue that has been an issue long before any of us served in office. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Well said. Are there any other questions on 18 through 28?
May I have
Councilman Garcia.
on 20, Mr. President?
On what, sir?
20.
Separate vote?
Yes, please.
If there are no other questions, is there a motion, please, to accept? Number 20. Motion and second on number 20.
Councilman Monk,
Yes.
Councilman Love,
Yes.
Councilman Mello,
Yes.
Councilman Schwartz,
Yes.
Councilman Garcia,
Abstain.
Councilman Colon Montañez.
Yes.
And Council President Shea.
Yes, thank you. Special vote, please, on number 20. Is there a maker, please?
Sir, that was number
That was.
20.
That was it.
Was it?
That was it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. How about on 18, 19, and 21 through 28? Any questions? Councilman Monk?
No.
Any questions, please, on 18, 19, and 21 through 28? Seeing none, is there a motion, please, to accept?
So moved.
Motion
Second.
and second. Thank you. Roll call?
Councilman Monk,
Yes.
Councilman Love,
Yes.
Councilman Mello,
Yes.
Councilman Schwartz,
Yes.
Councilman Garcia,
Yes.
Councilman Colon Montañez.
Yes.
And Council President Shea.
Yes, thank you. Up to Roman numeral 10 on our agenda, ordinances for introduction and first reading. Councilman Schwartz.
Question on 29, on page 5, where it says residential density is 42. Is density the correct term for that, or is that the maximum number of units?
So density can be used as that. So you can say the maximum density is 42, or the maximum total units can be 42.
Correct usage, okay.
Yes.
On 29, please, an ordinance adopting, this is ordinances for introduction and first reading. Ordinance adopting a redevelopment plan for blocks 4099, lots 21, 24, and 26, corresponding to 206, 212, and 216 President Street in the city of Passaic. Is there a motion, please, to accept for a set down for April 2nd for purposes of second reading? Motion?
Second.
And second, thank you. Roll call, please, on 29.
Councilman Monk,
Yes.
Councilman Love,
Yes.
Councilman Mello,
Yes.
Councilman Schwartz,
Yes.
Councilman Garcia.
Yes.
Councilman Colom Montañez.
Yes.
And Council President Sher.
Yes, thank you. Number 30, please. The proposed ordinance amending the designation of restricted parking for disabled persons by New Jersey license plate number. Is there a motion, please, to accept for set down for second and final reading on April 2nd? Motion and second, thank you. Roll call?
Councilman Monk,
Yes.
Councilman Love,
Yes.
Councilwoman Mello.
Yes.
Councilman Schwartz,
Yes.
Councilman Garcia.
Yes.
Councilwoman Colom Montañez.
Yes.
And Council President Sher.
Yes, thank you. Number 31, please. An ordinance, a proposed ordinance amending Chapter 295-36 of the City Code loading zones. Is there a motion, please, to accept for second and final set down for April the 2nd? Motion
Second.
and second. Roll call, please.
Councilman Monk,
Yes.
Councilman Love,
Yes.
Councilman Mello,
Yes.
Councilman Schwartz,
Yes.
Councilman Garcia.
Yes.
Councilman Colom Montañez.
Yes.
And Council President Sher.
Yes, thank you. Number 32, please. Proposed ordinance amending Chapter 295 of the Code of the City of Passaic entitled Vehicles and Traffic. Article 12, Schedules, Section 21, Schedule 1, is that 11B? God bless Roman numerals. Let's call it 11B, alternate parking to eliminate alternate side parking for portions of Mercer Street, Dwasline Road, and Allen Street. Is there a motion, please, to accept for set down for second and final vote on April the 2nd?
Second.
Motion and second. Roll call, please.
Councilman Monk,
Yes.
Councilman Love,
Yes.
Councilwoman Mello,
Yes.
Councilman Schwartz,
Yes.
Councilman Garcia.
Yes.
Councilwoman Colom Montañez.
Yes.
And Council President Sher.
No, it'd be 2B. We're up to Roman numeral 11 on our agenda this evening, payment of bills. Are there any questions on the bills? Seeing no lights at this time, is there a motion, please, to accept the bills as presented by the clerk? Motion
Second.
and second. Roll call, please.
Councilman Monk,
Yes.
Councilman Love,
Yes.
Councilwoman Mello.
Yes.
Councilman Schwartz,
Yes.
Councilman Garcia.
Yes.
Councilwoman Colom Montañez.
Yes.
And Council President Sher.
Yes, thank you. Administrator's report, Mr. Fernandez.
Just one thing, Council President, just on item 29, I reviewed Councilman Schwartz's point. Density is the correct term, but next to it, there was a parentheses that said DUA. That's the issue. So we're going to cross out DUA and just put units.
Does that change?
That term was also used on the other one, which was passed this evening.
Okay, so the DUA needs to be removed and it'll just say units.
Does that change the ordinance in any way?
Well, no, it just it clarifies that it's units and not density per acre.
Council, that's not a problem, is it, in terms of meaning? of
What's
the
this
ordinance?
first reading, Council President?
Okay.
And the other one, which was second reading.
Can the second, which was in the first, be in fact adjusted as well?
Which one was it?
Councilman, do you remember the number?
Item 3.
Yes.
You're correct. That one needs to say the same thing.
It's just a clarification.
So we'll accept it for purposes of
Clarification.
clarification.
Thank you, Councilman Schwartz. DUA.
Under most circumstances, I would go into the adjournment, but things are never business as usual with Mayor Laura. Mayor, if you'd like to give us some final report. I say that with all due affection and love, Council.
No, I take it with all due affection. I have to share with you something, Mr. Chair. I keep running into Congress individuals or individuals in Congress and Senate who, in one way or another, served with you either on the Assembly or in a different capacity. And you have been quite the topic of conversation in Washington. So I can't wait to come back and share with you.
I'm
But
so sorry you've been reduced to such conversations, man.
no, it's all positive. It's all positive. So I always get excited when I tell them I'm from Passaic and someone will mention, how's Gary doing? I love that. But they refer to you affectionately. I want to obviously thank the council. One of the reports that we received, obviously, from one of these congresswomen that speaks so highly of you, Congresswoman Mikey Sherrill, she shared the very need for affordable housing for special needs adults as they continue to age out. It's one of her focus in New Jersey being one of the most, well, rather the numbers are higher in New Jersey for children born with special needs than any other state in America. So I know she was extremely excited and proud of this council, and I know she will reach out to the assemblyman. But I wanted to say briefly, one of the speakers, and I don't know if they're still there, but Commissioner Sean Witten, who has been a volunteer, he doesn't get paid to be on one of our boards. He has been one of the more committed, consistent, and wonderful contributors to our boards. And I'm just so grateful that he's at the council meeting and so appreciative of his service for the city. For Ms. Diana and those that made the statements, along with this city council, I'm proud to state that we have made available resources, whether chairs or equipment, to every organization without consideration of their distinctions or what the organizations are, and we continue to do so. It is our approach to fairly provide resources and any assistance for every organization in the city when they put in an application appropriately for any use in our city. And I'm so proud of this council and all those, but I did want to clarify something. And though I cannot speak in too much detail because I'm not that educated, I know that there's an organization in the high school. And I don't know if board members are there, but I do know there are members that work in the school. There is a group, I believe it's the LGBTQ school program. There's an organization after school that meets with teenagers and families and provides support. There are organizations in the city established, some faith-based and others that do provide support. The only reason I share this is not to in any way debate or challenge the statements, but just to bring clarity when it says that there are no organizations, but rather to say that there needs to be more effort to share these resources and information. As a city, as mayor, and I can tell you consistently from this city council, our concern is government and policy, but to ensure that services, resources, and help are provided to everyone fairly, equitably, objectively. I say this to state, if there's a fire, not a single firefighter will ask what someone's faith, background, or race is. They go in to save lives. When there's a recreation program, no one asks the background, ethnicity, parents, beliefs, practices. It's baseball for all, football for all, lacrosse for all. If it was up to this council, it'd be every sport for all. When it comes to events, activities in our parks, we take an approach believing that every organization receives help. Oftentimes when organizations begin, the city has offered assistance, whether chairs or tents, for free to help the organization get on their feet, and then they're responsible afterwards. But we have done that for everyone and every organization. And when there are applications and people ask, we want to be out in the park till 3 a.m. or have an event that isn't typically accepted, we explain this is government, it's recreation, it's the police, it's the fire. But what this council has ensured, and I'm so very proud of the leadership of our council president and this council, is that if it's a no, it's a legal no, and it's a no for everyone. And if it's a yes, then it's a legal yes, and it's a yes for everyone. And if there ever is a no that is in question, then that either sets the precedent and it becomes no for everyone, or we challenge it. But I say that to be clear because, yes, as mayor, I often stand before organizations and I put my personal beliefs aside and I say, I'm the mayor for all. And if you need help, you'll receive help because it is a fair and right application. But I share publicly that I have a council that truly believes in these democratic principles and values, that what is right for one must be right for all. And if it is right for all, then we defend it, even for the smallest or most silent voice That's why we hold these positions. But I know statements were made, and I want to be clear on that, because there are times where the government says no and people may misunderstand or misinterpret. But I want the community and the city to know that I am so proud to work with one of the fairest councils and governing body and some of the most professional attorneys. And where there is room for disagreement or misunderstanding, we are always open to sit down and converse, because it is our goal to provide practical, fair, responsible, of course, ethical, legal support and service to everyone who comes before this governing body and the city. Thank you very much, Council President, City Council, City of Passaic.
Thank you, Mayor. Come home safely.
Thank you.
Councilman Monk. Councilman Monk.
Mayor, just a comment to the mayor. If I know you're in the White House today, so if it feels nice and cozy there, you have my vote.
Listen,
Not going away that fast.
I can tell you the pastries in the White House have nothing on Tony's cupcakes.
Agree.
There being no other items on our agenda which have been publicly advertised as required by law, is there a motion to adjourn, please?
So moved.
Motion, is there a second to adjourn? Motion and second to adjourn. Roll call, please, to adjourn.
Councilman Monk?
Yes.
Councilman Love?
Yes.
Councilwoman Mello?
Yes.
Councilman Schwartz?
Yes.
Councilman Garcia?
Yes.
Councilman Colon Montañez? And Council President Shay.
Yes, thank you. This meeting is adjourned.